And greetings once again. The wait is finally over and we're ready to enjoy actual major. Come on, lay in. Okay, what do we know so far? Bane is in horrible form right now for some reason. Unlucky. Greyhound might not be as easy as previous years for 3-0. Looking for 0-3, of course. Um, NIP kind of have no clue what to expect from them. Might be actually a great idea to gamble on them, is especially because of the matchups that they potentially can have. Um, Phase, I think they're gonna be ready to fire. Um, G2, Monas he just turned 18 and now he officially can fuck people. So now what else can we say? Like teams like Force, Apex, and like OG, Ants, like all these teams are kinda, in a questionable position right now. Monte, again, like I don't expect a lot from them, especially in this type of situation, right? In the first game against FaZe, they might get shaky. I'm not really like taking the option out that FaZe is gonna demolish them, right? But anyway, let's start the prediction. Shall we? Well, first game, well, as a FaZe supporter, of course, FaZe have to pick them. I'm biased here, so if you think different, feel free. Then Pain against Fluxo. Mm, this is the weird one, right? But still, for me, Pain is a tier above Fluxo, and Pain should be taking this one without really big problem. Two warriors fighting each other, but this one I think like Samurai is gonna win this one. Uh, and Monacy, I think he's gonna. I hope Monacy probably gonna have a good game over there. And for some reason, I think that Monacy might be on the I don't know on that type of form where he potentially can just go for the MVP of the whole major, right? They might not win, but Monacy might be so overperforming that it doesn't matter who wins, but he still might get the major MVP. Gamer Legion against Complexity. Complexity, especially in recent event in Australia, they kind of showed that if Halzerk isn't performing, they are struggling. Grim, I don't know what happened to the guy, but he's not really showing what I expected from him. But yeah, again, for me, this one is Complexity. Force against Greyhound. I know, just Force looks just a tier above them, right? Like Greyhound can't like beat teams that are like tier two from Europe, right? Like teams like Movistar that well obviously Movistar won the whole event, but like if you're Greyhound, you're attending a major, this is your home event, right? Like you have to show your best. And you can't even show that, right? When what we expect from them on a major appearance. I don't expect a lot. So maybe this time 0-3 is gonna be there. Apex against Liquid, right? Mm, JL is a beast. JKM recently is playing decent, but Liquid, you know, I do believe in upset, but uh, this one is a 50-50 game, right? I hope that Liquid are ready for the event, and I have to go for Liquid this one. NIP against Mouse, I don't know. Mouse right now, something is missing. I don't know what's missing exactly, but something is off. They had a good run, but now actually Torzi's not really performing to the standard what we expect. On the other side, NIP seemed like they found something that they were missing, and like they just playing pretty decent. And in general, NIP has way more firepower than Mouse, right? So this one is a 50-50 game as well, but NIP is kind of a dark horse this time, right? And I have to go for the NIP. On the other side, there's OG against ELS. And again, right? OG at the moment is a one-man army, and if Dexter performs, OG is gonna win. If Dexter slightly misses the mark, then End's just gonna demolish them. And in general, I don't really believe in teams without IGLs, right? And OG actually looks like one without IGL for them. They're actually playing the buggy style right now, and I don't see any idea behind it, right? And Snappy should just crack it pretty easily, right? Now, Greyhound against Mouse. Well, it seems pretty obvious that Mouse should be taking this one. OG against Complexity. Once again, right? Um, these are two teams that highly dependent on the Opus, right? But if we take the Opus away from these teams, then OG has way more firepower than Complexity. And Complexity, in general, they are not as strong as some people might think they are. And for me, like OG should be taking this one any time of the day. Apex against Mongols. Mm, this is potentially a game where JL can just farm them, and I think Mongols this time are like probably one of three teams that are in the conversation for 0-3, right? If last year I didn't believe that they're gonna go 0-3, then this year I'm pretty confident that they are like one of those three teams that have that potential to go for the 0-3. So I'm gonna be picking the Apex over here. Now Monte against Fluxo. Um, for me, these teams are kind of brothers from another mother, right? Because like it's just a Brazilian version of the Monte. Like they exactly the same, right? And if we actually look at the uh, or even events, here we go. You just need to look at the lineups. All right, Wadi, Fluxo. Look, you have like a VSM, which is kinda uh, where is he? Kind of Brazilian Boris, right? You have history that's not really like a great Opal, but like ish. Like Phelps is like SDI. Like Woody is just like same as Demq, kinda. Like Lukosi, right? Like Krasnal. I can I can find a lot of comparisons, right? But as any European team, like probably gonna beat a Brazilian team right now, then there's no point of trying to figure it out. And like for me, just Monte probably is just gonna take it over the flow. So now the 1-0 games, right? Fours against an AP. Mm, it's a weird situation with fours, right? I kind of believe they can go 2-0 and then like maybe 3-1 or 3-2. But because it's a game against an IP, I kind of see that eventually they either can play Anubis or they can go for the overpass pick. And if they go for the overpass pick, it's going to be like really, really 50-50 game. But if they play any other map, then NIP has slight advantage. So for me, I have to stick with NIP for this one. Game Legion against Ents. Um, Young Blood. versus the experience. And Game of Legion with Aka, I'm Kel, Shuhi, and Isaac can actually cause some trouble, especially on best of one. But for me, still, I do believe that potentially can be an upset. I still have to kind of go with the ends, right? I think Snappy is gonna just prepare the team properly for this one. Now G2 against Liquid. This is gonna be interesting, but at the moment, like G2 are just way stronger than any other like tier one. I'm not gonna say like team in general, but tier one kind of team that's in tier one conversation, but like might be lacking something at the moment to actually show what they actually worth, right? So I have to go with G2, and obviously like Pain against FaZe. Well, I just have to go with the FaZe, right? For me, it's no brainer that I have to pick FaZe because like the way Pain we're playing right now is just the Kerrigan is just gonna destroy them. Now the elimination game. Let's start from here. Complexity against Greyhound. Once again, uh, complexity for me, they are in a conversation for the 0-3, which is quite obvious. But in this scenario, I don't think that Greyhound can pull out an upset against them, right? Especially because it's going to be best of three. If it was best of one, yeah, sure. But like in best of three, I think just Hells are going to destroy them. And if any other player just wakes up, then it should be a 2-0. Then Fluxo against the Mongols. Mm, this one gonna be interesting one, but like even if Fluxo was playing against Greyhound, I think I would prefer Fluxo over Greyhound. If Mongols played against Greyhound, I would have picked probably Greyhound. So for me, it's kind of makes sense that I'm gonna pick Fluxo over the Mongols. So for me, like Pacific region gonna be like both teams gonna go 0-3. That's in my book, right? Then game Allegiant against Force. This is again best of one game, and in this one, I think Jerry just gonna outperform game Allegiant, and Jerry gonna take this one, and Force gonna win. Now Pain against OG, mm, best of one again, and I believe this one potentially can go to the either Overpass or Mirage. And if it goes to any of these maps, then OG is just gonna win. I don't see how Pain can bring it to a close fight. And OG 100% not gonna play Nuke. Maybe they can play Inferno, but again, Inferno is a 50-50 matchup right now, and like maybe it's a safer pick, but yeah, they have like three maps to play, which potentially can go in that series, right? But again, I have to pick OG. Monte against Apex. Mm, I think by this time, Monte can actually go to one and they can win against Apex because they're gonna have like the Monte gonna have some first day pretty like tough games. I'm not gonna call like Fluxo game really hard, but potentially like they're gonna lose against FaZe, then they're just gonna get some confidence against Fluxo, and yeah, and then they're just gonna face Apex, who have like kind of similar path. But again, like for me, Apex lineup with JL, Noke, and JKM and Stico, it's it's kind of good, but I'm not sure if it's good enough. And like again, these teams are pretty similar, right? But in this one, I think that Boris might be the actual crucial factor in this game, right? But again, like we don't really know what to expect from both of these teams, right? If we're looking at the structure, Apex has more structure. If we look at the raw firepower and like the X factor, then like Boris just covers any of these players, right? Because Boris, I don't know. For me, it's just kind of weird how he's able to perform in this type of team. And again, like SDI with his experience, he might just outcall JKM, Stiko, because like they haven't really played the tier one for some time, right? And I just have to go for Monte in this one. Now Liquid against Mouse, again best of one, and I know I don't have much faith in Mouse in general in this event, right? Uh, why? First of all, they barely made it to the major, and they are lacking something. Liquid should be enough firepower just to outplay them. And OC is feeling pretty confident right now, I believe. So just raw firepower, Liquid should be taking this one. Now the clash, right? Samurai versus Hurricane. Um, for me, it's pretty obvious that G2 probably gonna 2-0 NAP, which is okay-ish scenario, but in general, NIP, unfortunately, they might go 2-0 and 2-3 or like 3-2. They can kind of drop off from this point, right? I hope they're not gonna do it, but there is a chance, right? So I'll be picking G2 over here. And FaZe against ENCE, I don't believe that FaZe gonna choke this one and just gonna go 3-0. So for me, 2-3-0 teams are just FaZe and G2. They are just way too strong for any other team to even have like a conversation of oh, maybe we can bring a close fight. No, even Liquid at the moment, they're not ready to fight any of them, right? So now let's go for the elimination games again. Mouse against Apex. Mm, I kind of want to say that Apex is gonna win, but if they do, then Mouse going 1-3, and that's it. That's done for them, right? And again, 50-50 game over here. In terms of Opus, Apex now is now better than Torsi. Yes. Is Xerxion better than JKM or Stiko? Uh, yes. Is Frozen better than JL? At the moment, I don't think so. Ixen, mm, kind of weird one, right? If we just look at the names, then obviously Apex should be taking this one, right? But like, there's an X factor in Exertion who can actually outperform anyone. Like, he's the X factor of the mouse, and I do want to say Apex, and I see how they can win, but for some reason it just feels like in the most crucial moment, mouse gonna choke, and this is why I'm gonna stick with Apex. Now, Game Legion against Fluxo. Mm, can Brazilians make a comeback? Uh, I don't know. Game Legion for me is just they're not really that strong, but they're certainly good enough to beat Fluxo, right? Now, Pain against Complexity. Mm, I have to go with the Pain, right? I believe this Brazilian stack is just stronger than Complexity in their current stage, right? Mm. Floppy is underperforming again. Like I don't see how Complexity can make it to the next stage. So I do see how Pain can do it, and in general, Pain are like a higher rated team. And again, yeah, I just have to stick with the Pain. Um, Monte against Liquid. So for me, Liquid should go 3-1, and Monte should be fighting in 2-2 stage. So it's just a common sense that I put Liquid through, right? Uh, yes, in reality, the game can go kind of weird, weird way. It's like I see a lot of parallels from Boris and Yekenda, but Yekenda has way more experience, same as any other Liquid player, and it's gonna be a best of three. So there's no gonna be like a X factor that can just like decide the map, right? So in general, because of the experience and like individual level, right, have to go with the Liquid. Now ends against Force. This one is interesting because Snappy at this point has proven that he's that IGL that brings the best out of the young players, and every player feels kind of confident right now. But again, like for me, ends potentially can choke, but will they? I don't know. Like I do see a possibility that ends can choke against Force, and then they have to fight in the elimination game, which is not gonna be that difficult for them because like most likely they're gonna face Apex because in the game of NIP against OG, I just have to go for the NIP, even though Dexter or Flames like can outperform anyone. But I think that Vrez hopefully is gonna wake up. Brolin has to wake up. Like it's been so long since we've seen like Brolin that's actually playing really decent, and like Brolin or Flames at the moment, I don't know. Alexi B might be like the decider over here, right? And again, I I'm not a fan of a team without a proper IGL, which OG right now is. So Alexi will be able to figure them out and just probably outplay them. Like, on the individual level, still NIP is a better team than OG. And yeah, the decider ends against Force. I still believe that Force can win, but I have to go with the ends over here with a safer pick, right? Now, Game of Legion against Monte. Mm, I think that's enough for Monte, right? And for Game of Legion as well. If that was me, I wouldn't let either of them to the next stage, but one of them in my bracket unfortunately has to go through. And do I want to pick Game of Legion or do I want to pick Monte? Uh, Kinda not a big fan of any of these teams, but if we're actually talking about who has done more, who has more potential, then I have to go with the Gamer Legion. So OG against Apex. Oh, this is the tough one. But again, as I said multiple times, I'm not a fan of OG playing without a proper IGL, and just for this reason, I just have to go with Apex. And playing against Force, uh, this is the time where Brazil is just gonna choke and Force just gonna take this one. So mm, teams that are gonna advance, in my opinion, the G2, FaZe, ENCE, NIP, Liquid, Force, Gamer Legion, and Apex. And I have 5 teams to pick from, right? So let's pick. Um, as I already mentioned, I believe that Monacy potentially can go for the MVP performance, and for that reason, I just have to pick him, right? Now, the next thing is that uh, NIP Journey looks kind of okay, and for me, they might be the X factor. And so far from what I've seen, their prices are incredible. Like they're all under 200k, like other than hat trick, but like no one in their right state of mind is gonna pick hat trick right here. So these two fellas are probably the way to go, but I think that it might be a time where Brolin might shine. And I hope that Rez wakes up, and it's probably going to be a great gamble. So now when I'm on 390k left, I have to pick a player. And FaZe is my next team that I think probably going to go 3-0. So I do have to pick a player from FaZe. But who do I have to pick? That's the question. Is that going to be a Rain? Is it going to be good enough to play against, okay, let's see, Monte, Bane, Ants? Should be good enough, isn't it? Or do I gamble on someone like Aussie over here and have 186k left, which potentially gives me who? Nobody decent. Unless I decide to pick Dixon, who has some sort of potential to actually be an X factor and have some decent games, especially since they're playing Liquid first, then Mongols, then Monte, then they play in Mouse in elimination game, and against Monte again, like they can actually win and then play against an IP and have a decided game after that. Like anything can happen over here, right? Um, mm, is Kixen actually worth picking? 186k. Is there anyone else like Woody? I don't think Woody's that good. Isaac 180. I don't think so. But if we look at the stats of Kixen in previous games, mm, he isn't doing that bad. And like his price is kind of good as well. Like against OG 123, like 30 bomb. Like, yes, he's not like the most crazy player, but like he's getting that go past, like, or whatever. He does get some decent ratings once in a while. And like if he's in really good form, then in 1 week's time, potentially this form can even be better. And am I just like trying to shoot myself in the leg just by picking him? Potentially, yes, but 186 for a player that's like 1.03 rating and potentially can go through, and in best of one, is there a chance that he can actually have a really decent rating? Yes, there is a chance, but what are my alternatives? If I pick someone else other than OC, uh, let me see. Matches again, like they're gonna play each other in the first game. Not a big fan, but like if I don't pick OC, then who can I pick? 390. Like if I see like two players that are 190 or just slightly underneath that. Okay, Nico or Neofrag. Do I want to pick any of them? I don't think so. Do I want to pick Crad or Jerry? I don't know. Crad might be the guy. But again, like they're playing Greyhound in the first game, pretty decent. Like, can Crad actually get some decent points in that game? Yes, he can. Who they can play then? Again, like Game of Legion, Force. Like, do I have faith in Crad? Maybe if I do pick him, then what am I left with? 188. And who can I pick for 188? Demq, Alistair, Dixon again. Like, ugh, I don't know. It doesn't really make sense to pick him. All right, picking OC makes way more sense, and then finishing him with someone maybe. But if I decide to go for Kerrigan, then I'm with 202k, right? And 202k is not really enough to have a really solid player, right? JKM, but I'm not a fan of JKM over here. And if I pick Hoxie, then what are my options? 207k. If I pair him up with Monacy, then I have options Rain, I have Leech, I have Xerxian, Pico, Flames. Um, this is certainly a better option, right? So I can even go for Noke. Oh, is Noke a good option? Mm, I don't know, to be honest. But if I go this way, let's say I decide to pick config. Yeah, still 205. Config is more expensive than my guy. Oh, actually, if I go instead of res, I pick config and Brolin. I'm exactly on 208k, and 208k is exactly enough for JL. Mm, is that a great gamble? Is JL worth picking over Rain? Mm, JL is playing hard carry on that team. Can they go like 3-1 or whatever? They playing the first game against Liquid. Can they surprise Liquid? Yes, they can. If we go this way, no, but potentially yes. Like I don't know. JL seems like a decent pick, right? And he's the star player, so potentially he can go all the way in. But again, like Config and Brolin, those are two big questions, and they both are playing entry roles. And NIP double entering. Mm, I don't know. Seems kind of sus for me. Uh, so do I want to carry on with JL or I don't? This is the biggest question. Or what are my options instead of config? OC is OC a great option once again. Uh, is it better than config? Maybe. What are the options? Not many. So Shuhi Acre, Hickson again, like I don't know. But JL is obviously like one of those players that potentially can give me huge points, right? Mm, is it worth going for double NIP? I don't know, but Brolin is certainly worth trying for 193k. Uh, OC, do I want to try and go for OC? Mm, I don't know, but JL is certainly a great pick for me. If if I decide and pick someone else instead of Honesty, uh, let's say let's say I go for Brokey, right? I still have 209k left, which is enough for JKS. Let's try it this way. Let's try JKS. Is that a great option? Maybe. Can Brokey actually outperform everyone on the team? Maybe. Do I have to stick with my Latvian friend? I don't know. Do I go for Latvians? Uh, you know what? It might be a time where I have to support my Latvians, you know? And yeah, I think that's what I'm gonna do. Like uh, carry player, X Factor, X Factor. Uxie minus 50 points even if he wins. But in reality, like G2 gonna play Mongols, Huxi can have a decent rating. Then the best of one against Ents might have a decent rating. Like uh, actually, you know what? 5 players because there's gonna be a lot of teams going through, and JL actually has really great potential of going nuclear and just like hitting 30 bombs even if they lose game, right? So Yekenda has the same potential. And you know what? It's a gambling season, so why not? So multi-frag on this guy, then Brokey as a Opa, and Yekenda headshot machine or okay entry headshot. You know what? Let's go for the headshot machine. All right, so Hoaxy the leader. Multi-frag over here. Probably gonna be on top of the table. Brokey is he gonna hit a 30 bomb? I don't know, but most likely he's gonna have enough flashbangs. Yekinda probably gonna have plenty of assists. So yes, I know I kind of play myself into the first game, but these two guys are not gonna play each other at the end of the game, right? Brolan potentially can like face either FaZe or G2 later on, and yeah, G2 against FaZe, they're not gonna face each other until like day 2-0. So yeah, am I happy with my team? Hooksy is a big question mark, but other than that, yeah, I'm pretty good. I'm gonna go for 1-1-1-1-1 for the first time probably in like years uh, since the first season. But again, it might work out this time. So again, have fun and let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you next stage.